Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Avery. I'm 23 years old and I do live on my own in the Midwest. I don't have any children. I don't have any pets at this time. And this video will be about how much I spent as a 23-year-old living on her own during the month of March. So thank you so much for watching, and let's get into the video. So the first thing I will mention is actually just a note. I do have a new microphone I'm trying out. It is my boyfriend's microphone, so thank you to my boyfriend for letting me borrow it. So hopefully the sound quality is better with this. If it's not, I am trying my best and I'll just keep tweaking with it. So anyways, so in today's video, I am going to go over my March budget overview. And let's start with my income. I did bring in just over $3,000. If I bring in over $3,000, that's a pretty good month for me. It's like kind of like my stretch goal. I always know with my income that I'm going to bring in just over $2,400 now with my full-time job. I did just recently get a pay raise, and it's reflected in my last paycheck of March. But then my first paycheck in March, I had some overtime. So starting next month, I shouldn't have any overtime, and I should be able to see more clearly how much my income will be from my full-time job now. But I do make gross just over $40,000 from that job. And then in addition to that, I work at a restaurant, usually 2 days a week, maybe not as much as I used to, at least last year. So I did bring in $378.58 from that job. I think I worked every day I was supposed to, maybe except one. I went to a concert instead. So yeah, I think typically I can expect usually anywhere from $300 to $500 from that job, depending on how much I work and depending on how busy it is. And then I also have a job at a bakery. This one is just like contingent basically, so I only come in when asked. I don't have scheduled shifts every week, and when I have to work is very seasonal, like it's dependent on the season and like holidays, things like that. And if someone calls off, because it is a small staff. So I did get requested to come in, so I did come in and I made $160 from that. And then the miscellaneous income, 18 cents from my savings account, I think, and $171 from my state tax refund, which I'd almost forgotten that I had gotten this in March. I guess I got it right at the beginning of March. I want to say like literally March 1st, but I did get it for $171. I got my federal last month. So we're seeing a total income of $3,160.60. So now I'm going to zoom us out, maybe. Potentially, if I can figure it out. Okay, so we're zoomed out, and I'm gonna go to my, which one is it? Spending by category, and we'll go a little deeper into how much money I spent in March. Just as a side note, I'm using the budgeting software YNAB, or YNAB Budget is what that stands for. I really like using this budgeting software to look at my monthly goals, budget out my finances, literally almost every single thing that you can do that you want to keep control of in your finances. I like to use YNAB for it. So that's just a heads up if you've never seen this software before. So my total spending was $2,647.48, and I'll go a little more in depth into that. Just some general notes about my spending. It's definitely a lot more than February. I posted my February spending report, and I spent just over $1,800. So you're seeing almost an $800 increase, give or take. And there are a few reasons for that, which we can get into. So I always like to start with housing because it's usually the most straightforward. I did spend $833 on my rent / my water. I mentioned it in a previous video, but I do finally have some clarity on what my upcoming lease renewal will be, and my rent / water will increase by $25. So there's actually no increase to the water. It's a flat $38 rate, but I will have my rent increase from $7.95 to $8.20. I'm fine with that. I know I'm going to stay here at least one more year, and if that's the increase I have to deal with, that is completely fine with me. So moving on, I spent $15.25 on laundry. Just a note about this, me and my boyfriend have recently just been combining our laundry together and doing it at my apartment. So we have been alternating what days, like what week. We do it once a week, but we alternate who's paying for the laundry that time. So I spent just over $15, and then I spent $42.28 on my household. This is a relatively new category for me. I created that category because I had a lot of my household items coming out of my grocery category, which is completely fine if you want to do that. But I found, for me personally, I found myself just underspending on things I needed from my house, like cleaning supplies. Like, I'd try to go as long as possible without getting them, and it's not that I wasn't cleaning, it was just like I could have cleaned in such a better way if I had the right supplies for it. So I did create the household category, and it's working out for me well so far. So I bought things like my shower liner, Lysol wipes. I bought some laundry powder, like detergent powder. I'm trying that from a sustainable, what is it called? A sustainable store in my city. So that cost me $14.48, and then I spent $10 at Walmart, and I didn't leave a note, so I'll just have to take my word for it that it was for the house. Let's move on. Here's a big change for why March was so expensive for me relative to other months. So in March, in February, I spent $0 on transportation. Nothing. I didn't buy gas. I didn't buy bus tickets. I didn't buy anything. So in March, if we're looking at my transportation category, this number is a lot higher than zero. I spent $561.34. Vast majority of it is coming out of my car insurance. I pay my car insurance biannually, I think it's called. So once every 6 months, so twice a year, and it's about just under $500 each time, so $481.21. And then you see this credit cash back. I used my cash back that I had on my Quicksilver card to kind of mitigate the cost of that a little bit. So comes out to $394.93. I spent $131.91 on transportation. I know $30 of this came from parking at my job, and that's why I don't like to drive to my job if I can avoid it. And then I spent money on 2 fill-ups. Gas was obviously quite expensive in the month of March. If you had to buy gas or drive anywhere, you would know. I think it was just over $4 a gallon for when I had to buy gas each time. So I did split the cost of one of the fill-ups with my sister when we went to Detroit, but then the other one I bought on my own. And then the rest of the money is actually just coming from reloading my bus card. I have been going into the office twice a week, so I do take the bus unless I drive and spend $10. And the bus is a $2 ticket each way. So if I go twice a week, it's $4 a day, $8 for the week. And that's why I like to take the bus instead of drive. And then I bought a bike helmet for $34, and I got over 50% off on that. So happy about that. The original price was $80. Food, I spent just under $300 on food. I thought that was interesting. I spent $179.71 on groceries. This is another category where I spent way less in February than in March. I did go on vacation towards the end of February, and February is just when you take 3 days or 4 days off of the month, you're going to spend less money. And then I spent $119.78 on dining out. That's just about these are both just about in line with what I budget, so it wasn't too bad. Moving on, let's see. This is where it gets dicey because I always click on the wrong one. Okay, utilities. Okay, so I spent $176.76. That's kind of interesting on utilities. My gas went down. I do have gas to heat my apartment. Last month I know it was $69. This month it's $55, so that's nice and kind of represents the fact that it's starting to get warmer outside. Thank God. I spent $54.99 on internet. I have Spectrum, so it's a flat rate for at least now. I'm wondering if they're going to try to increase it soon since I've had it. It'll be a year in July. And then I spent $37 on my phone service, and I spent just under $30 on electric. So utilities overall are down a little bit, $15. moving on to health and fitness. Nope, moving on to investments. I spent $125 on my Roth IRA. I do have an automatic contribution of $125 a month that is actually going to be increasing in the month of May. I'm increasing it to $150. Since I got the raise that I wasn't expecting from my full-time job, I just thought maybe I should pay my future self a little more money on top of that. So excited for that, but in March it was just $125. So health and fitness, this one, okay, $30 on therapy. I mentioned in a previous video I was going to start attending therapy twice a month. I actually think I'm about to go back down to once a month, so it's $30 copay each time. And then $13.56 on medical. I just bought some medical supplies I need for a chronic condition. And let's keep going. Fun. See, this is what I'm talking about. So in fun, I spent $21.50 on a book. I need to not buy books. I have way too many books. They're staring me down right now as we speak, and I have not read like half of them. So it's a good idea if I just stop spending money on books. But I did buy one from a bookseller that I like to support in my city, and I will be reading it as soon as possible. Finally, I spent $11.73 on subscriptions. I spent 99 cents on Apple storage and $10.74 on Spotify. So that's pretty straightforward. That doesn't change any time of the month. So yeah. Did I do the sinking funds category? Oh, I didn't. Okay, so sinking funds, final category. I spent over $500 on my sinking funds. I spent $255.77 on vacation. And that reason for that was because I was in Texas. It started in February. The vacation started in February, ended in March. So I spent $250 in March. I spent $229.44 on my health, beauty, and clothing category. And this is primarily coming from clothing and REI purchase. I bought 2 running shirts that I've been using on my bike rides. And I bought a pair of hiking pants, and they were on clearance, but even then REI is still pretty expensive even on a sale. So it cost me almost $200. And if you add in just the little things here and there, like I bought some nail polish, I bought a hair trimmer, and I bought like a body butter, that's how you come up to over $200 spent on my clothing and beauty and my health category. And honestly, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, because I do need to prioritize like getting new clothing. I don't know about you, but during the pandemic, it kind of feels like I've let myself go a little bit. Not necessarily, but like the clothing that I have is just like a lot of athleisure wear. And if I'm going to be going into the office, I need something better than that. And if I'm going to be exercising more, I need certain things like sports bras, things like that. So I think going forward, I'm still going to continue spending money on like health, beauty, and clothing. But this is another reason why my March expenses were so much higher than February. And then $20.36 on gifts. Same thing with gifts. My like gift giving season is definitely, obviously Christmas. If you celebrate that, you know, you spend a lot of money at Christmas. But then like spring, summer, I guess I have a lot of birthdays and a lot of events I have to go to. So that's how I end up spending money on gifts. I spent $16 paying for my sister's dinner for her birthday in Detroit. We went to Mom's Spaghetti, if you know what that is. That's like Eminem's Detroit restaurant, and it was pretty good actually. I was surprised, but I paid for her food, and then I spent $4.36 on a cookie for my boyfriend. Moving on, very last thing, I know this for a fact, $12 for my domain name renewal. In 2020, I bought my domain name. It's literally just myname.com, and since it was available, I bought it, and I've just been renewing it. I don't have a website yet. I don't know if I will anytime soon, but I do want to hold on to the name. So it's only $12 a year. And I knew it was coming out. Like, I didn't literally forget about budgeting for it, but I just didn't want to put money into a specific category for it. So that's all the money I spent in March. I am going to make a video about my net worth update. I kind of think I'm going to we're just going to have to look into the structure of that a little bit so I can see a good way of like explaining how it changes from month to month. Moving on, just some things I want to note with April. It's probably going to be another high spend month. It's all dependent on what Biden does with the student loans. Are they going to go back into repayment in May? If so, I'm going to make a payment of how much I have saved now. I have just over $3,000. Hopefully it'll be more by the end of April. But I'll make a payment to cover it before the interest-free period ends, and just to knock down the balance as much as I can. Like I said, I have $22,000 that I owe. So if that's a done deal, a significant amount of money is going to come out of my bank account. If he extends it again, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to keep saving the money. I mentioned that's going to be gift giving season. I need to save money for just like summer events, like some concerts, my birthday. I think at the end of the summer, I might go to New York City with my boyfriend. I've never been, and if I'm going to do that, I want at least $1,200 in my vacation fund, and I don't have that much right now. And if I keep saving $50 a month like I do on my budget, I'm not going to have that by August. So just a lot of like little things coming up. Like my computer, I feel like my computer is on its last legs. So I need to probably start saving for that as well. So, and of course, if you watch any of my previous videos, you know my emergency fund. I'm always trying to put money into that. Household, bike supplies, just everything. There's always something. But yes, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you like this video, feel free to like it. It really does help out my channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll be sure to get back to you on it. And if you like this budgeting software, like I said, it's YNAB, and I do have a referral link down below. You can use it if you want. You don't have to, but it does get you a free month if you sign up through there and you pay for a subscription, and it also gets me a free month. So full disclosure there. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great month in April, and I will see you all in the next one. All right, bye now.